What's up guys, Gerald here, and I'm back out fishing. It's not the video that I promised of me and Scudder fishing the weekend. It's actually a week later. Now, the fishing trip happened, but the recording didn't. I'd been at work from 7 AM, I got here at 1 in the afternoon and I was absolutely shattered. I tried recording. When I look back at the footage that I'd recorded, it wasn't particularly great. I wasn't feeling it, so I just stopped recording and I decided to just fish for the weekend and just have a little plod around. Now, it was a very, very quiet weekend. Me and Scudder were fishing. I was in my normal swim, Scudder was in the lifebelt swim. Only 2 fish were caught and I caught them both. One of them was a pike, which was a bit random because I'd literally been saying there's no pike in this lake, and I was going for catfish, so we caught a little rudd. I put it out as a live bait to try and see if I could catch a catfish, and about an hour after it got dark, the rod tore off. I reeled it in. It gave me quite a good fight. I still thought it was a catfish when it was in the net. I picked up the net, put it on the unhooking mat, only to realise it was a pike, so I put the picture of that pike in the bottom corner now. It was about 10 to 12 pound, quite long and thin. Obviously coming up to summer, pike are not like at their best condition in the summer. Really, you want to be catching them in the winter. So, and then after that it was quiet all night long, quiet all next day, up until about an hour before I went home, and I managed to land a 19 pound common off the left hand spot, which is great. Since then I've been back down here to try and do a different sort of challenge. I decided to do some float fishing for roach and rudd. I thought I'd try and catch, I think I set myself 25 roach and rudd in an hour. Now I set all the cameras up, I filmed it all, I was happy. I need to discover once I'd got home and plugged the cameras into the computer that the camera I'm recording on now only recorded for 25 minutes, and I lost all of the footage after that. I didn't complete the challenge. I managed to catch 15 in an hour, so I failed at that. We might give it another go today, but the weatherman keeps telling me it's not going to rain, and lo and behold, as soon as I got here it started raining, so I had to put my umbrella up. But that's helpful now. If it does rain later on, I'll be nice and dry. The rods are out, as you can see. We've got one under the tree as normal and one just in the spot over there, which you can't see anymore because the rushes have all grown up. So fingers crossed we get a fish. Now this could be the last time I fish this lake as a syndicate member. It's the 20th and my membership's up at the end of the month, so the quest for the common doesn't look like it's going to happen. I mean, I've been fishing this for 2 years on a syndicate and 2 years probably as day tickets, and I've not had it, so it's possible that the fish has died or it's not even in here. Now that doesn't mean that it's not in here, because fish have been randomly turning up, like I say, like that pike that no one's caught before. One of the other members managed to catch a 20 pound common that had a really small fin, and he nicknamed it Nemo, who I'd never seen before. I've never caught it before. So there are fish in here that probably haven't even been caught in the 4 years. They actually managed to finally catch the 30 as well. The guy who caught it hadn't caught a fish for ages, and he was fishing to the same spots that I fish, but from the other swim. And I said, why don't you stay an extra day? Because they'd been down here Saturday, Sunday, and it was Bank Holiday Monday, and they didn't realise, and they were going to go home. And they stayed for Bank Holiday Monday, and lo and behold, that night, what did he do? We went and caught the 30. So I'm happy for him. It's put on a little bit of weight as well, 30 pounds 6 ounces, which is really good. Lovely fish. He was well happy with it. So fingers crossed that we can have one today. I'm going to try and sneak out this third rod, I think, and just see if that helps catch one. So guys, the time is 12 o'clock. So it's been a couple of hours since you last saw me. We've had no takes on the carp rods. What I've done is I've reeled them in and I've redone my rigs. I wasn't too happy with them. Now they're the rigs that I used last time I was down here with Scudder, and I had a couple of pickups on the drops, so I've switched them over, tied 2 new ones, put them out. I've also now got my third rod out, but that is going out for catfish. So I've had the float rod out, caught a nice little roach, and I've stuck it out there on a polyball system, which I'll show you later on. So we're covering all of our bets here. We've got 2 carp rods out and a cat rod, trying to catch something so we don't blank. I would like to catch the really big catfish in here. Hopefully we don't catch that pike. Wind's picked up a little bit, the sun's out, which is nice. But hopefully we don't catch that pike again. I'm not a big fan of pike. I'd rather have a bigger catfish, but I would rather have a 30-pound carp over all of them. So we'll just see what happens. So guys, I very nearly decided to fish a different swim today. So this is the swim that the other guys normally fish, and I was going to put a rod just over here. I can still fish to the tree from here over there and have a 3rd rod on the pads, but I decided against it. Now that spot over there has been producing fish for them, and I believe they caught the 30 down here just towards this bay. So the fish are on the move around. I decided to go and stick to my normal swim, mainly because I know the spots. I mean, I do know where the fish on over here, and obviously the tree, but I thought I'm just a bit more comfortable in the swim that I know. Coming to an end on here, I don't really want to be messing around. I want to be able to catch fish. So if I had fished that swim, basically I would have been casting from there just to here, just there off this margin here. The fish like to leap out here all night long. It's very, very shallow here, and they get in here. This is all gravel along here where they've been feeding, where the guys have been putting in a lot of bait. It's gone very hard bottom. The rest of it is very silty, especially just in this section here. But it's only about 2 foot deep, so maybe if I get down Sunday, if they're not here, I'll give that swim a go. No blank for me, guys. There's a nice little rod here. So, no rain my arse, Mr. Weatherman and AccuWeather on my phone. It's tipping it down. So I've just had a carp leaping like a salmon all over the swim under the tree there. So the fish are in the area. It wasn't particularly big, probably about 8 pound I'd say. It's a nice dark chestnut common, so hopefully we can get a fish. So guys, I haven't been getting any bites. I'm going to try something a little bit different. So what I've done is I've crushed up some boilies into a PVA bag. I'm going to thread it down onto the rig now, and we're going to get that out there. So to do this is relatively easy. You just pass a baiting needle through your PVA bag, hook it on, and then you push the PVA bag down and pull the rig through. I need both my hands to do this, so I'll do that now and then I'll show you on. So as you can now see, I've pulled the rig through the bag, and all I'm going to do is just put the hook in the bottom of the bag and push it in tight. That will protect the hook and the hair, stop it from spinning, getting any tangles, and when you cast that out, it goes down nice and softly. It will sit on the bottom and then the bait will be all around. Whoop. So guys, whilst I'm just sitting here, I'm going to make up a couple more PVA bags. I basically just put 8 boilies into this crusher. I crush them right up into crumb, then I put them into a PVA mesh bag, and I just push it down and make it nice and compressed with this little stick that comes with the mesh. So there you go guys, 2 nicely compact crushed up boilie crumb ready there in PVA bags, ready to go out if we get another fish. Now I could add some attractant to this. I could use some of the Corda Goo and put it on there, but I think that'll be enough hopefully to attract them. So let me just show you this, guys. Look, this is supposed to be what the weather's meant to be like, and this is what it's actually like. It is pissing it down. So guys, it's 3:45 and this lake never fails to surprise me. I've gone and caught a species I've never caught out of here before. That's 2 times in a row now. I've gone and caught a tench. A lot of people would moan about catching tench, but I actually really like them. This is quite a nice one. So, look at that, it's even got his fin up for me. Probably about 4 or 5 pounds, so I'm going to get it back and get the rods back out, see if we can get a carp. So yeah, we caught a tench. Saves the blank, I suppose. Wasn't a bad one, probably only about 4 or 5 pounds, but again, another species that we didn't really know was in here. We had caught one really small one once. I mean, I don't know if that's the one that's grown on, but this fish that we caught before, or Dan caught it, was probably not even a pound. So if it is that one, call that fish is half grown on. There is rumours of a big tench in here. Who knows? It just shows you, like, who knows what is in this lake. We've been fishing this now for 4 years. That's my first tench in 4 years. 2 years as syndicate, 2 years as just dating it. So, you know, this lake could hold absolute monsters and I might not even know about it. So guys, it's 5:35 and no carp so far, just that one tench. I should have said that that came off the right hand rod under the tree. I don't know if I did, so I'll say it now. Came out from under the tree. I've changed the third rod over to a carp rod and I've put it down to where I saw a couple of fish jumping earlier. One leapt about 15 minutes ago out from down there, so I thought I'll cast to it and just see if I can get a bite off that one. I'm going to be a little bit longer than I normally am though. Normally this would be my start to think about pack up time. So I'm going to stick it out. Obviously the sun has gone kind of in behind all the clouds, but it stays light a little bit longer now, so I can stick it out probably to about 7 and then I'll pack up and go home. So guys, I think the time's about 6:30, maybe 7:15, and nothing was happening up that end. So I've moved down to this end of the lake now where the sun's still beating on it. Hopefully it'll keep it warm. It's actually nearly 7 o'clock, so I've come down here in the corner just to try and see if I can poach one out before I go home. I'll show you where I've got the rods. I'll tell you what though, that hotel dinner smells lovely. So I've just got a rod. Don't want to be too noisy here because we are in close. Just there by these reeds. I've got one just past these reeds here on the margin. Now, I've already fished down here once. You've seen me fish down here. Yeah. So you saw me fish down here on the surface and I caught a 20. So the fish do hang around down in this bay, and with the sun being down this end of the lake, I'm hoping it's keeping the warm water down here and they might be in that. So I've come down here, fingers crossed. I really need a carp. I haven't blanked in God knows how long, but I can sense a blank coming. Woo. So what's up guys, it's the Sunday after that you've just seen me. So as you can tell, the Wednesday didn't go too well and I didn't want that to be the last time that I come down here and fish and blank, and it ruined my streak. So I'm back down here, it's Sunday. I've got 3 rods out. Now I've got 2 out in where I would normally have them, to the tree and to the pads over there in that little spot. Now when I cast that left down rod out, I spooked the fish out and then pads, so it's a good sign that there's fish up here. And then I've got my 3rd rod, which is down here in the lifebelt swim. I've whacked that right over by that back set of pads, just off the pads, about there, about 2 foot off the pads, just where the slick water is, just there, off the breeze. So hopefully we can get a fish today. Yeah, like I say, I didn't want my last fishing trip down here to be a blank, so I've made an effort to get down here. It's quite late, it's about 11 o'clock and I've only just got the rods out, but I've no rush to go home, so we'll see what happens. So guys, when I left the house this morning I was determined to change a few things. I was going to fish this swim over here and fish into the bay, which is the only place really, this bay here, where I saw fish on Wednesday. But when I got here, that swim did look good, but I just really fancied this spot. I just really fancied the spots I fish, and I thought I could put a 3rd rod out in the lifebelt swim and cast it down to the pads, which is where I also saw a couple of fish, not that many, but on Wednesday they were leaping around there. I think the fish are spawning and I think they've got that on their mind, so that's why it's getting a little bit tougher to catch. Now, normally, you know me, I only fish bottom baits, so I've got a bottom bait out on this one, which is at the pads with a yellow bit of sweet corn, but then I've changed things up on one of my rods over here. On The left hand rod, which goes to the pads that you know, I've got a pop-up. Now I'll show you the pop-ups. The right hand rod again is a bottom bait with a yellow bit of corn under there. Now the pop-ups, I will show you right now. Let's go in the bucket. Are these Hi-Vis, you see that? Focus camera, come on. Hi-Vis, anyway, the Hi-Vis, there you go. Pineapple juiced mainline pop-ups. Now, they're not just any old pop-ups, because what I've done is I've got some of the goo and they have been soaking in that for, I'd say, a year. They're not mouldy or anything, they've just been soaking up that goo for a year. So I've put one of them out there just to see if that does anything, catches me a fish. As you can see, I'm hovering around in the middle of my two swims, just in case one goes off. The laddie net is in that one, but I'm going to move it and put it in the middle now. So hopefully we get this fish. I can't blank again. I need to get fish. Don't want to blank again, please give me a fish. So I've got 10 baits around each rod, even the right hand rod. I've got the throwing stick out there and put 10 baits around it. I'm not going to be putting any more bait in. I'm not doing PVA bags today. It didn't really seem to work for me apart from catching that tench on Wednesday. Now I seem to do a lot better in this lake if I don't put a lot of bait in. So 10 baits around each rod, and that's going to be it for today until I get a bite or until I get a fish, as you know, and then I'll put another 10 in. So it's 12:05, no bites yet. I've already seen a fish leap out of the water in the swim that I was thinking about fishing. So already in my head, I think I want to move. Now I've put some bait in this little swim, so I'm going to give it probably a couple of hours and I might move over into that spot, which is where I was thinking about fishing in the first place. So who knows, we'll see what this swim can produce, these two swims. If I don't have anything by 2-3 o'clock, I'm probably going to move over. Right guys, it's only 12:30, but I'm going to move already. I've seen another fish show down there, and then I've seen a fish show right down in the bay. I feel like they're being pushed into these bays by the wind, and I'm in the complete wrong place. So I'm going to pick my rods up, I'm going to move down there, and I'll see you when I get down there. So guys, all 3 rods are now out. I used to fish this swim quite a lot. It's more of a nighttime swim, but as the fish have been showing down here, I thought I'd better move into it. Now I'll show you where the rods are. So the left hand rod is just off this near margin, right about there. Then the middle rod is out over here. Now there's a pole, I don't know if you can see the pole, which is there. There's the pole. It's about a foot off that pole. Now that spot's produced a few fish for me before. And the right hand rod is, there's the lily pads, and then it's where the other set of lily pads used to grow that haven't really come up this year. Just in the cove there. As soon as I was setting up over here, there was fish leaping in that bit. I believe they're spawning over there, so I've just cast to the showing fish. Hopefully it won't disturb them too much, and let's just see if we can get one. So if you guys notice any difference in video quality, it's because I've had to switch back to the flip camera. The Sony Bloggie for some reason will not turn on. Now when I was using it a minute ago, it had half battery, so I don't know if it's the battery, if I've dropped it and I've broke it. I'll find out when I get home. Hopefully I haven't lost any of the footage. I didn't charge them from when I came on Wednesday because I thought they had enough battery left in them, and this flip camera's only got half battery, so I'm not going to do a lot of filming unless I need to. So basically all the rods are out, 10 baits around each one, and we'll see what happens. So guys, the time is 2:25 and still no fish. There has been a lot of activity in the pads. I believe the fish are spawning over there, so I've not moved the right hand rod towards it. I've left it a little bit further up the bank, hoping I'll catch them as they patrol up towards the tree. And I thought that as soon as I would come in this swim, fish would start showing up the other end, and lo and behold, I get in this swim, and what happens? A couple of fish start to show up the other end. Now I'm not going to move again, I'm going to leave it here. The left rod and the middle rod, they haven't been touched, they're still in the same spots. I have recast the right hand rod once, and when I reeled it in there was a little bit of weed on it, so I've come a little bit further out. So guys, here comes the rain that was forecast for about 2 o'clock. It's now nearly 4, so it's a couple of hours late. I've put the shelter up so that I'm nice and dry. Hopefully it doesn't rain for too long, because I don't really want everything to get too wet for when I have to pack up. I'm going to stick it out for a couple more hours. There's been no indication of any fish. It's gone very, very quiet. They are very preoccupied with spawning at the minute, so who knows. It looks like I'm going to blank again. If I do blank, then I will definitely try and get down here Wednesday. I can't have my last few trips being on this lake as a blank. Obviously, like I've said before, my membership's up at the end of this month, and it's the 24th, so it doesn't look too good for now. I'm definitely not going to catch that common, so it's got to keep on trying. I'm going to get right under the shelter because I'm getting a little bit wet. So it's 4:30. Unfortunately, still no fish. It's still raining. Hopefully maybe the rain will change the fish behaviour. Maybe they'll come on the feed now, who knows. It might just change the water temperature down by 1 degree, and that might just trigger them to go on a bit of a feeding frenzy. Fingers crossed. I'm a little bit disappointed that, you know, I've been able to catch fish last time I was here, and it looks like I'm not going to catch fish this time. Especially as I'm coming to the end of, you know, my time on this lake. It would have been nice, you know, just to have the last few sessions where I was actually catching carp. I mean, I've never struggled like this before. I'm doing everything right. I mean, on Wednesday I didn't feel like I was fishing great. I did struggle with my casting a little bit, but today I feel like I've done quite well. I've managed to get all my rods out straight away into the spots. I haven't been casting a lot. I've managed to get bait quite nicely around everything. It's just that time of the year where the fish are spawning and they're not really on the feed. So guys, it's like 5 o'clock and I've just lost a fish. The right hand rod, which was out by the pole, or I'll say the middle rod, so it was out by the pole. It's tore off. It felt like a good fish. The rod really bent round, and it's just gone through something very sharp and just binged, cut the line. The fish then surfaced somewhat out here, obviously as it was losing the lead. So that's just very, very depressing. It's been a hard day's fishing, and to lose a fish has really pissed me off. So yeah. What's up guys, slightly different scenery behind me now. It's 2 days later, and after I lost that fish I rage quit hardcore. I'd had enough and I wanted to go home. I was just not in the mood to fish anymore. I'd re-rigged up and tried to cast out a couple of times and nothing was going right for me. Then the other members turned up and they really wanted to fish that swim, so I just made the decision to go home. It goes to show that no matter how hard you try, you're not always going to catch fish. I mean, there are things I could have done differently. Maybe I should have gone in that swim in the first place, and I might have caught a couple, but you know, all great streaks come to an end, and I've just got to keep on fishing. The best way to get out of a funk is to keep fishing. You can't catch fish unless you're fishing, so I'm going to try and get myself back down there. I've not got long left now. I just got to get down there and get myself a fish. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. Stay tuned because I will be making another one, and I'll see you all soon. Tight lines and wet nets.